In this lecture, we're going to see how we can pass parameters to functions by pointer. This is going to allow us to avoid the copies that we were experiencing when we were passing parameters by value like we have seen in the last few lectures. Here is a simple example showing the syntax we can use to pass parameters by pointer. On top here we have our function declaration, and down here we have our function definition. And you see that the syntax is the same. We are passing by pointer and by pointer in the definition here. And another thing you should be careful about is that when you call a function that passes by pointer, you have to give it an address. And that's what we are doing here. So we are passing the address of our age variable, which is going to be passed by pointer. When we pass by pointer, we want to be modifying a copy inside the body of our function. If you look here, we are incrementing the age variable, but we are doing this through dereferencing. So when we pass a pointer here, the pointer is going to contain the address of this guy, and in the body of the function, the pointer we will have, this age pointer, is going to be pointing to the original variable here. Okay, so this age pointer is going to be pointing to the original age variable. When we dereference it and modify the variable, we're going to be affecting the original variable. I really hope this makes sense. And this is really what passing by pointer is all about. You declare your functions by passing in pointers like this, and in the definition you do the same. And when you call the function, you need to pass in an address of the variable, because that's what we store in a pointer here, and this is going to work. If we try to run this example, here we're going to print 23 because that's the original value. We are going to call this age, we are going to increment, and this is going to change the original value. If we print here, we're going to get 24. And when this function terminates, we're going to hit this statement here and we're going to print 24. This is what we're going to see when we get to run this program here. And this is really all there is about passing by pointer. We are going to head over to Visual Studio Code and play with us a little more. Okay, here we are in our working folder. The current project is passed by pointer. We are going to grab our template files here, and we're going to put them in the current project, which is passed by pointer. We are going to open this in Visual Studio Code pretty quick. We're going to choose that, pass by pointer. We open this, and our main CPP file should show up here. We're going to clean it up a little bit. We are actually going to grab the code from the last lecture and put that in here, and that's going to be our starting point. Let's close the left pane here so that we have some breathing space. The function here, say age, is going to pass by pointer, so we should take out this const here and have a pointer here like we had in the slides. We're going to do the same in our definition here. If we go down, we're going to do that. We're going to pass by pointer, and we are going to uncomment the line that increments our age here. Okay, after we do that, you see that we have a squiggly line at this line that calls the say age function. What we need to do is to pass it the address of the age variable here, like we saw in the slides. So this is the syntax we have to follow. Once we do this, this program is going to be valid, and if we run it, here we're going to print 23 because that's the value we have in here. We're going to call the say age function. We are going to increment age, and here we forgot to do our dereferencing. So what we need to do here is to dereference the age and increment it. This is going to increment the original variable here, and we're going to be accessing this through the dereferencing operator of our pointer here. If we hit this line in the function here, we're going to print 24 because the value has been incremented through this statement here. And after the function call, we're going to hit this statement here on line 10, and it is going to print 24. This is what we expect. Take a moment to make sure you really understand this. The things you need to be careful about is the syntax we use to declare the function. Here we say that we are passing by pointer because of this little star here. And we have the same thing when we hit the definition of the function. We have this little star. So we are passing by pointer. Another thing you should remember is to pass the address of a variable when you call the function like we do here. And please remember to use the dereference operator whenever you want to modify whatever variable is living at the address that you passed in here. So that's why we are dereferencing here through the star operator like we are doing here. This is really all you need to be careful about. So we are going to try and run this program. Let's do that. We're going to build with GCC. The build is going to go through. We need to bring in a terminal so that we can run this program. And again, we expect to see a 23, 24, and 24 here printed out. So let's run Rooster. Okay, here is our output before we call the sayAge function. The age is 23, the address is DEC. When we hit the function, we are saying, hello, you are years old. So here we should have dereferenced to access something inside the variable here. So we should say you are age old. We need to dereference this guy because now it is a pointer. I forgot that. I really am sorry, but we are learning, so this is a good learning chance for you not to make the same mistake as I am making here. So let's try and build again. We should see the correct output. We are going to clear and run Rooster. Now we see that before the call, age is 23. When we call the function, age becomes 24 because we just incremented through our dereference operator. And after the function call, the age is going to be 24 because we have modified the original variable here through our dereferencing of the pointer here. This is really all there is about passing by pointer. This is the syntax. You have to pass a pointer in the declaration. You have to pass a pointer in the function definition. And when you call the function, you have to use the address of the variable and pass that as an argument to the function. And whenever you need to use the passed parameter, you're going to go through the dereference operator like we did here and here in the body of our function here. This is really all we set out to do in this lecture. I hope you found it interesting. In the next one, we're going to see how we can pass by pointer to const and prevent people from modifying our data if that's what we want in this function here. Go ahead and finish up here and meet me there.